Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. My purpose for writing this short treatise called Cage Mercy, my Ramahdan Incarerated, was to establish a reminder first and foremost for myself and a reminder for the believers observing this great pillar of Islam.
This call is from a federal prison.
Now many of us, when we're faced with adversity or when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala places us upon trial, we find ourselves seeking refuge in Allah and asking Allah to aid us in which trial is primary in accordance to our lives. Meaning, in my case, myself and the Muslims, it's evident that when we supplicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we want Allah to return us to our families safely and to also, preserve and protect our families in our absence. And this would be probably the most repetitive supplication to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then next, we have to be patient to Allah Azza wa Jal bestows that mercy upon us. So with that being said, it's very easy to allow ourselves to be so focused on being patient and waiting for that one thing to take place. But it also puts us in a situation where we fail to pay attention to the countless bounties and favors that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestows upon us surrounding that moment of patience. So what I did, without establishing complaints or glorifying or the hardships that come with being incarcerated, I wanted to point out those other favors that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had bestowed upon me, and those experiences that actually aided me in staying firm and being patient and waiting for Allah's help and Allah's mercy in regards to being released from federal prison. So what I did was establish some of the great favors that Allah has shown me by guiding several individuals into the fold of Islam. So like I mentioned, we get so sidetracked with our own personal, trials and tribulations that we don't see the other things that Allah shows us. And we have a tendency to take those things for granted. So with all the complications and all of the distractions that may come with being incarcerated, it takes, a certain type of patience and adherence to Allah's commands in order to observe what Allah commands us to do in situations like being incarcerated. So I wanted to show the reader, whether it be incarcerated or not, to not take for granted that for the individual who does not deal with these type of stipulations, to not take it lightly when it comes to observing, fasting and praying during the month of Ramadan. For those of you who are not incarcerated, you have, with yourselves, a very privileged situation. You're able to fast among families and friends. You're able to pray Taraweeh at the masjids. You're able to observe I'tikaf the last 10 days of Ramadan. You're able to do things that Allah has not hindered you with any complication in observing this great pillar of Islam. But for the individual that is incarcerated, he has to deal with an authority that is placed before him in regards to those who are placed in authority over us in the prison system. And we have to find ways to navigate around that and observe these obligations that Allah has placed upon us. So with that being said, I hope that the reader can walk away from this and apply this observance of those other favors that Allah bestows upon us while we patiently wait for the one thing that we're seeking aid in. And also, I want the reader to be able to take the experience that I have endured being incarcerated and see that maybe from the outside looking in, it may look like a very hard situation. But even being incarcerated is a blessing in itself, because first and foremost, we have to accept everything that Allah decrees, whether it be good or bad. And I wanted to express my gratitude for what Allah has placed in my life, because it's given me an opportunity to see numerous things, and I took the opportunity to share these things with you. So anyone who's interested in sharing this experience, you can download this ebook called Cage Mercy, My Ramahdan Incarcerated, on Loon to Amir.com. And inshallah ta'ala, I pray that Allah makes this not only a benefit for me and my family in this life and the next, but also
this call is from a federal prison.
I pray that Allah Azza wa Jal makes it a reminder and a constant reminder in the hearts of the believers. And I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses it as a means to even guide those who may have not accepted Islam to see that these trying times and these obstacles and tribulations that we face is a part of being subservient to the Lord of the Alameen. So inshallah ta'ala, I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues to guide us and keep us firm upon that which is correct. May Allah continue to increase us in doing that which earns His pleasure. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us the inhabitants of this paradise that He has created for the believers by way of His mercy alone. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.